Hello there, this is Lada from Radiant Yin, and I'm here with another meditation. And today we're going to be addressing anger. Can be very shadow emotion in spiritual community, but I believe what I see, it's been very much finally changing. There's just so much more talk about it, and I've been teaching about this for years. So I'm just so excited that more and more people are awakening to the fact that we can be fully present without really owning and processing, and also being present with our emotions. So it's a big piece here in all of this awakening, and if you call it new earth, or just we're all awakening to the new level of consciousness. That's when they talk about the timeline splitting, right? There's certain, we all have a choice. So choice is the big word for this month. Choice. And another one that came to me is heart coherence. And so I looked it up, I was like, so what is that heart coherence? Because I started seeing it in readings, and kind of the word would come to me. And it is that alignment of our regulated nervous system when our heart, our emotions, our body, and our mind are in the state of peace. That's heart coherence. Isn't that amazing? And also, my friend and the amazing teacher, Lisa Ciccoli, when we talked last time, she said that for her the information was listen with your heart. The same thing, right? It's the key is here. And so as our emotions are rising, we're also learning how to stay with them with our heart open. And one thing that I see with around anger, because I've been guiding people with this emotion, teaching about it, we say I'm still learning about it every day. um, One of the things with anger is either we can get very ungrounded, right? So then it becomes toxic. It's not, we don't get the whole medicine of the anger first, right? We hit it, we kind of either spew it out, or we can collapse, right? So the victim will often collapse. I don't have any power, right? So the anger doesn't get expressed, but it actually gets stored. And that can lead to many different things, right? There's a lot of passive aggressive victims, as we all know, right? That anger just doesn't go anywhere, it gets expressed. And that's often still healthier than if the victim completely collapses within themselves and then gets sick, because all the anger becomes implosive. So, anger itself is an emotion, which means it's part of our human medicine. Uh, to get information, to heal our bodies, to feel alive, to rejuvenate and revitalize. So it's just part of this whole medicine. And what I'm teaching, and probably you're here because you want to learn that, is how can I have that energy without creating more toxicity in the world, right? Um, and so that's one side of anger that I often see, is there's people get very ungrounded, so they explode or they implode. And then another thing is they can be this picture. I need to think about all the bad things that happened to me that made me angry, right? And I just fuel, and the connection is often just between the second chakra, the emotions, and your analytical mind, or the third chakra, right? It's like, oh, I just want to be feeling empowered because I'm going to be feeding the star in my brain, but you're not moving it through your body. You don't move it through your heart. Your heart is not open, right? So it's just like, Mm, that doesn't really work. It's about actually moving it up through the heart, and also through all the rest, through our chakras, also fifth chakra, sixth chakra, seventh chakra, right? It's a communication, but it's saying, this is how I feel when you leave me in the same situation. This is how I feel when you don't have my back, right? In a situation. So the body keeps kind of telling us, telling us, telling us. And I find if you haven't worked with anger ever or much, what I would recommend is starting to connect with it as energy, right? So emotions are energy. Emotions, they need to move. When we allow them to move, when we process them, allow them to circulate. If we need to express them, we express them, we move, right? It helps the body to cleanse and move to the next stage, next level, whatever that is. There's no problem. Emotions are a friend, right? But if we have what we say shadow emotions, which is emotions that we don't want to feel, again, often a lot of people spiritualize that kind of avoidance of what they find messy. It's going to be really hard to let them move, right? And so we're going to stop them often. And that's when it becomes really messy. So let's just say hello to the emotional scale. And on that emotional scale, anger is actually right below amusement. And that's why often if we can really run our anger, we often start laughing. Have you ever had that like with somebody who could really have their anger right? And then even if you kind of get in that argument, you just often start laughing after because as you're kind of clearing that energy, you have the heaviness to have the amusement above it. You don't need to dwell on the anger, because you're not in victimhood. Um, so if you have people like that, they're keepers. They're keepers. So let's say hello to anger as an emotion, as an energy. If you haven't worked with anger, I'm gonna ask you to sit down and close your eyes. And if you have, you can even stand up with it. But in the first part, it's not so much about movement because sometimes we can also avoid by movement. But first, we're going to connect. And then we kind of going to just, when we can have that emotion more neutrally and understand and contain or have it more neutrally, then we can start expressing it as well, right? It's not so much fear of, oh my God, for me, I used to have this picture that me expressing anger is this huge distraction. And then I realized, like, no, 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 not at all. So just breathe. And I'm going to invite you to just connect with your body, become aware of your feet on the floor and your pelvis being heavy, become aware of a tailbone, your tailbone, and allow a big, big root just shoot down from the tailbone. You can shoot down roots from your feet, big, fat roots. Like, if you are that trunk, if you're that tree, you have a crown, you have the trunk, the body of the tree, then you want those big, fat roots for yourself, right? And shoot them down to the center of the planet. Because that's where it's like a recycling station. So energies get neutralized there. So gravity can help us release those energies and then get it neutralized. It's not like we're polluting the center of the planet. This has been always here for us. We've been just disconnected from this knowledge that Earth is part of the medicine. And just breathe and notice even starting to ground and being like, okay, I'm going to meet my anger from a grounded space. That might be new. And now we're going to activate that intuitive side of us, right? So open your third eye. It's behind your eyes. It's your ability to see energy or look at things for yourself and create a symbol of a rose and say hello to anger as energy. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but I would like you to keep looking at it for yourself. What do you see or what are you starting to feel? And just keep breathing because it might be just starting to move and just allow it. You can allow the anger, you can have the anger without becoming it. And it's amazing how much stuck anger is in our bodies. And it can feel very physical when you start moving anger, even in meditation, when you connect with it. You can feel tingling, you can feel heat or cold, sometimes even cramps when you're releasing a lot of it. Or in the beginning, it might be almost elusive, like I don't really feel much. And I can tell you, I haven't really felt for a very long time. So it is a disconnect. So if that's there, stay with the disconnect. It's okay. This is the path, right? We all have steps to take. You need to be taking your steps, not somebody else's steps. So your step might be, I'm sitting here with the disconnect but I'm going to look at it. I'm going to make a choice to consider that anger is energy. It's emotional energy, wants to move. So it's a very fast energy. It's a very fiery energy. What anger does for us, first, boundaries. We are animals. We have animal bodies. We have, yes, we have human mind, but you know, on that lower body, you know, the lower body wisdom center is an animal. And notice how animals use anger, how we can really learn, right? It's often it's for boundaries, saying like, hey, this is my space. So often if our boundaries are being crossed or we are making ourselves smaller, often long time, smaller, 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 smaller for somebody, there might be just this, you know, just back off, you know? So anger. For me also, I notice that I get mildly angry when people lie to me. I get really irritated around gaslighting. So anger also, if you really fine tune that emotion, it's like a truth. You know, you can there's an energy of truth in anger. We often don't see it that way, do we? But if you've ever got really, truly, authentically angry and you release some energy, you know, and notice this is not about other people. Like often we have the best releases of anger when we're by ourselves, you know, and it's actually healthier to do that and maybe then have the communication. Um, if we can hold that container for ourselves. And if we don't, just forgive ourselves, right? Like learning, it's a learning process. Nobody taught you this. Nobody taught you how to meet your anger healthily. So forgive yourself. We also, in this time, we need to forgive ourselves, not only other people. So it can very much be kind of like a radar, you know, it can be showing you, oh, there's a lie here, there's a lie in a space, and the anger is trying to clear it, clear it, clear it. Just breathe. And so there is a present time anger, which is very much when you really release enough of that past time anger and other people's anger, anger becomes a big ally, right? It's part of the medicine and part of our guidance system. That, you know, in the beginning, as we're starting to connect with it as an energy and allowing it to just move, so you can just visualize that energy is moving, moving through up through your body, up through your head. It's moving, it's circulating, and just say hello to any energy of anger that you're feeling that's actually not yours. There's a lot of collective anger. If you're sensitive, you might be totally picking up on that. This won't be feeling good if you try to move it and feel it and process it like it's yours. So it's very easy with everything that's not ours. Just postulate, you know, I'm releasing what's not mine. So as I'm connecting to my anger, moving it through my body as a medicine, learning about what when I feel angry present time and when it's an old anger that needs to be recognized and released, I'm releasing everybody else. This anger I ever healed, picked up on. Like, you know, and we heal often things because there's part of us that believes so there's something wrong with that person experiencing it, right? So maybe for that's good for the healer ego, you know. Uh, it's like, oh, I'm gonna save this person. Oh my God, they're feeling angry. I'm gonna heal them. I'm gonna make it all right for them. You're taking their medicine away. You're not doing them any favor. Allow yourself to keep releasing anything you ever take on because somehow there was a picture in your space saying this is wrong. They shouldn't be feeling that way. And in that sense, we're saying, oh, I decide how they should feel. That's an invasion of another person's path. And I think as women, we need to really hear that when we're trying to save people. And this has nothing to do with assistance, right? Because we're helping other people to be stronger in themselves. We're creating more strong women, more strong teachers. It's not about saving people. People are absolutely capable of saving themselves. And our job is save ourselves, regulate our nervous system. And owning your anger and learning to move it healthily helps you to regulate your nervous system. It's going to be calmer, you're going to be more grounded. You're going to feel more alive, by the way. I was in classes in which we were just running anger for an hour, hour and a half. It was in uh, intuitive environments. And in the end, everybody was like, I have never felt better. And everybody was just sitting, moving energy like we're doing it right now. So breathe and start noticing where those disconnects. And this would be a good time to stand up and but stay in your soup, stay in your process, and close your eyes and just feel back into that emotion moving through your body. And how can you help it move? Notice where is some energy stuck and how can I move it, up? Let it circulate. Where did the emotion kind of get stuck and couldn't move up, couldn't give information to all parts of you, to your personal power, to your heart. So let's say hello to that heart, right? Because that's often where I'm noticing people have disconnect. It's like anger is bad. I can't have my heart open. And so then we often only circulate it here. It doesn't go up. We can't completely transform it, transmute it. So let's put our hands on that heart and breathe and just invite that energy, fiery, gorgeous, life-giving energy of anger that's helping to cleanse your space, your chakras, release old energy, come out of the victim, let it move through your heart. Give your heart the medicine of this energy and let it move up. Right. And so this is where we can feel very differently, right? So some of you might be already like, I gotta move my body. And just do it. Like start moving your body. Just allow that energy to express. And then some is like, okay, well, what am I gonna do now? So I'm just gonna give you a few tips. First, start shaking your bum, your buttocks, your booty. Just breathe and just start feeling into that space, releasing from there. So often a lot where it can be stuck, mostly if you were told, be good, be a good girl, be a good boy, don't feel that, shut it down. This might be a first good step to be like, okay, you can start releasing energy. Another place where it's often stuck is throat, right? We're angry and and then when we clench our teeth or just mumble under our teeth or even say something like "Ah," and that's when it just went out from the fifth, often didn't go completely up, when it's kind of like "Eh." So start massaging your jaws, make some noise, stick out your tongue. There's a reason why Kali has her tongue stick out, right? And Maoris are sticking out there. It's a very powerful release. And then start releasing from your shoulders. Just how does my body want to move this energy right now? Sometimes we need to speak it out, right? So maybe you're starting to be like, I need to speak it out. There's this words coming out of me. So just do it. Start speaking it out. And often wants to come with our arms. We often have a lot of anger stuck here, right? That's often why some people just go like, but notice you can actually move it. You can start moving it out of your body, you know? So you might want to take space. I'm just gonna hold some space here for everybody. It's reminding you of something. So first thing, say hello to your heart. Can you have that heart open while you're moving that energy? That can be often the tricky part. So That's what's happened. We disconnect from the heart and we're just looping it, looping it. So notice if you're starting to remember these bad things that happened to you and now you're just looping that anger through it. Breathe, come back to your heart. That anger wants to be released. So if you're circulating, it's starting to come out. It needed to be felt, acknowledged. And there can be many layers, to all the emotions, to all these processes. So it's not about, but I already processed my inner child. This is what's coming out for all of us, of all a lot of stuff we thought we were done with. It's here for the last time. It wants to be released. Are you still grounded? Because the power of this medicine is having grounded anger. Even if you're like stomping your feet, make it powerful. Let that energy move through your body. Make sounds very healthy. Just allow the sounds to help you move the energy through your head, give that information through your upper wisdom center, your ability to see, to know, connect to the universe, have your guidance. And so what you're doing, you're clearing your space to create more space for yourself, for your true essence. And we all were oppressed one way or another. So everybody's pissed. And the difference is, are we going to learn to work with this consciously, or are we going to just avoid it, keep having it in the shadow, acting like it's not here, judging it? So just breathe. And, this might be kind of a good space to find music that you like that has a lot of energy and put it in your earphones or put it out loud if you're home and just start moving your body. Just give yourself those 5 minutes, 7 minutes, or however long you want. You can do it for the next few hours or a whole day, and really completely get out of your head, connect with your body, connect with your heart, move that energy, and just move it however your body wants to move. If you notice I'm getting stuck in my head, I'm thinking, come back to that body. You can come back and look at the energy. Oh, I remember. That's how we get in our third eye, instead of our analyzer, is we start looking at energy. Right? So that's another way of, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to connect to my heart. So we all have these different techniques we develop to avoid this emotion. So also, you getting lost or you getting stuck is part of the medicine of you learning. Oh, wow, this is how much I learned to disconnect. So every time you bring your awareness and your presence back, you're getting more of your space back. You're getting more of the trust in your inner healer, your inner medicine woman or medicine man. So it's actually pretty amazing. And I know it can be sometimes discouraging with these big energies. If you have never worked them, it's like, I don't know what to do with it, but it's one step at a time. And I believe whatever you're good at in your life, remember, we go there one step at a time. It We could have talent, but it's not giving up, you know. It's just taking it one step at a time. So thank you for following me. Thank you for meditating with me. I hope this is really helpful. Enjoy this process. I will be putting out more content. So yeah, follow this YouTube channel, follow my YouTube channel, and have a great day. Bye.